Hello from the Woodwork Shop, Woodline Design, St. Louis, Missouri. Today we're going to take a look at an outside project that I completed this summer. It's a shed, a garden shed to be specific, that I wanted to design and build, and it's something that you can do as well with a little thought, planning, and a lot of hard work. Let's take a look. So this is my backyard. Extends from of course, the back of the house, and there's the entrance to my backyard. And it moves along a fence that goes clear to the back. We'll walk through a pergola here. And here is the shed. I needed a shed. I don't have a garage in this yard. I've got ample parking on the street, but I did need a place to store my tools. So I decided to create this garden shed with plans that I developed myself using SketchUp. And let's take a look and see how this project went. So I have broken this project up into a multi-part series. Nothing in the shed build project is overly complicated, but taken as a whole, it can get overwhelming. So you want to break up a project like this into multiple steps. So today, we're just going to cover two introductory parts. One is the design element for the shed, and the second is establishing and building your foundation base for the shed. So in terms of planning, I think I have to think about very carefully, what am I building? What is its purpose? What purpose does it have for me, and how does it serve my needs? Not just practical needs, but aesthetic needs as well. Now, I needed a garden shed in my yard to hold a number of garden tools I've acquired over the years, a lawnmower, and also a little space for a bench top where I can work, where I can pot plants, where I can assemble things, maybe tinker around with an engine, what have you. And I also had to think of a good location. Did I want this shed near my house, in the middle of the yard, or at the back end of my lot? I'm choosing at the end of my yard because there's not a lot there. It's an open space. And because there was a garage where I'm going to locate the shed, I'm not really going to be taking up any more space than was originally intended. And because the shed is smaller than a single car garage, the space I'm going to lose is going to be minimal. And in an urban area where this home is located, having a larger yard is a premium. So I have to think about the ground itself. I have a slight angle to the yard. It kind of slopes in towards my house. You can check out my other video on a French drain that I installed in order to handle the runoff because of that slope. But at the back of the yard, I could place a shed on an angle facing into the yard, and I think that that's going to serve my needs the best. So when we talk about a design, it's going to be something as simple as a piece of paper, a pencil, and a ruler, laying out each part of your project. In our case, the shed, it's simply a matter of drawing to some sort of scale each side of the shed, the base of the shed, and the roof and the roofing structure, and maybe the doors and the windows if you wanted to get a little more detailed. But it is important to start with something. Why is it important? Well, because you want to know what it is you're going to build overall. You want to resolve problems first on paper or in a digital space in order to fine-tune and to solve any technical issues in that space before you start spending money and time Otherwise, you could be engaged in some serious do-overs and purchasing more materials than you needed to in the first place. And you also want a decent design, a basic one, for budget and for a parts list. So you know in advance what money you're going to probably spend over what time period and how much items you're going to have to store somewhere in your location. You want to break up the project into smaller workable phases, and you can set up a design for each of those phases. This accommodates your own life schedule so you don't get overwhelmed with the project schedule. And again, it's to help budget and avoid overspending. So in this first design example, I'm literally just using a piece of typing paper, a ruler, and a pencil. You don't have to have any particular skill in drafting, but it is good to use a straight edge, keep your lines straight, and you want to somehow convey your measurements into a usable format. So in this case, I set it up so that 3/4 of an inch on the ruler equals 1 foot in terms of the actual shed size. In turn, 1 inch on the ruler will equal 16 inches in the shed world when we build the shed. That's important because all of your studs are going to be placed, your wall studs are going to be placed 16 inches, every 16 inches or so on center across the decking for your shed, and that's standard. At the top, I put my top sill where the roof is going to rest. And then in the middle, I've included the window. In this case, I think my window frame outs were about 30 inches by 32 inches, based on some antique window frames I found to use on my shed. And then at the base, I included the 2x8 pressure treated wood base. And then above that, a 2x4 plate upon which we're going to affix the wall stud. So in this case, this is just one wall section, the shorter wall section of 6 foot. I'll do the other side, the other 6 foot wall, and then I'll do two sides, the 8 foot wide walls. And then I'll do the same for the roof. Now, for those of you who appreciate or utilize digital computer design, I highly recommend and I really love using SketchUp. There are many different kinds of design programs out there. Many of them are free, like SketchUp, one reason why I like it. But there are, of course, more sophisticated programs like AutoCAD, which are licensable, though they do come at a price, which again is probably why I like SketchUp. Now, what's fun about SketchUp is that it is easy to learn and it includes features that allow you to make a 3D rendering and to apply very precise measurements. In fact, I think SketchUp works out very well for construction projects. The accuracy reflects what you would need for a typical construction project. And it gives you the ability to color and apply different textures so you can get a very clear idea of what your project is going to look like. I like to include all phases of my SketchUp project in a single folder. And then I start out with the base, the framing for the base, which is 2x8 pressure treated wood. Over that, I'll lay over my plywood in the digital world. And then over that, I'm going to put my sill plate. And it's upon this sill plate made of 2x4s that I'll affix my wall studs as I put up the 6 foot wide wall and the 8 foot wide walls. And then I move in further and I can go further into my design program and show what the walls are going to look like. SketchUp gives you a little figure so you can understand the scale in terms of the human scale, the relationship between your project building and a human figure, so you can get an idea of the exact kind of space you'll be creating when you finish your project. Then I will design the roof. In this case, it's really just a simple gabled roof with a 23-inch elevation at the center and resting on the sill plates at the top of my wall structures. And the nice thing about SketchUp, it also lets you use shadowing so you can get an idea of what the structure will look like in the daylight. And then finally, you can also add in your wall paneling and your roofing materials. In this case, I was thinking of using really just a shingle roof. I didn't use that in the end, but that's okay. I went with a corrugated metal. But as you can see in SketchUp, you get a very good idea in advance of what your project is going to look like. So once I had my design completed, I was ready to start the foundation. What I did was I marked off about 3.5 or 4 feet from the face of each fence that makes up the corner of my yard. And that's where I placed the outline rectangle using a can of spray paint of the 6 foot by 8 foot footprint for my shed. So once I had the outline of my foundation outlined on the ground with bright yellow spray paint, I began to dig out the sod and I removed about anywhere from 2 to 3 inches of soil. I wanted to create a flat surface in relation to the slope of my yard, so I removed more soil from the back side of the shed facing the fences than from the front, so I would create a level, smooth surface. After that, I put in a weed barrier. You can purchase rolls of weed barrier. It's a plastic sheeting, really, from the big box stores. It's not too expensive, but you might also use newspaper. Newspaper is economical, it's environmentally friendly, and it does achieve the same purpose. It prohibits the growth of weeds from coming into a certain surface in your yard. Once that's completely covered over with your weed barrier, then you lay in, -2 inch drain rock or gravel. In this case, I think I had to use about 20 or 22 bags to fill in the space up to the surface. I poured in the bag and then I used a heavy rake to smooth out the rock all throughout the foundation area. Next, I used a carpenter's level to make sure that the rock I spread out was level in all directions, left, right, front, and back. This way, when we build our structure, it'll be on what is needed, a solid foundation. Just a quick word about foundations. Where I live here in Missouri, the soil is very compacted and is of a heavy clay nature. So it's very dense. I'm not going to get a lot of movement. So I'm not going to bury any piers into the ground below a frost line or anything like that. This is a shed. If I was building a deck or a structure that I'm going to live in, of course you have to by code, and that's understandable. But for a simple shed, you can just use precast pylons. Some people use cinder blocks. You just want to establish a foundation on which to put your frame for your floor that's going to be very sturdy. And here in Missouri, you can do that above ground. Once I had the foundation laid in with the drainage rock, then I purchased these construction pylons or deck pylons. These are cast concrete pylons. They're about $10 a piece, again at the big box stores. And they're made to perfectly fit in 2x4s on edge so that you can establish a frame above, or if you want, you can foot in a 4x4 post. We're not going to be using a 4x4 foot post. We're using the foundation pylons to lay in our basically our base, which is 2 inch by 8 inch pressure treated wood with floor joists. I completed the square. I made sure that it was level all the way around. Where it wasn't, I would beat it down with a tamp or with a heavy mallet so that it came into true. And then I placed in metal joist hangers at equal distances, 16-inch on center, all the way around on the inside. And then I laid in my actual floor joists. Over that, I used marine grade exterior pressure treated plywood, and this will create a solid floor for the deck. So that completes part one of our shed build project. We've established the design, and then we also laid in our foundation, and over that, we placed our pylons and we built our floor framing, the joists, and we did that out of 2x8 pressure treated lumber. And over that, we put a marine grade exterior pressure treated plywood at 3/4 inch thick. We affixed that to the decking with 2-inch common nails. And the 2x8s were joined using joist hangers set in place with 1.5-inch deck screws. That completes this part of this series. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that like button, and your comments are always welcome. So until next time, keep your hands dirty with a fun project in your world.